So a lot of people didn't believe me when I said there's a war on humanity. There's a war on the natural world. You think I'm crazy? You think I'm this guy who's just this crazy guy? Listen, many of you already heard if you saw my other IGTVs, but what happened in India was a crime against humanity, and this stuff is happening all over the world. They went into India, thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of farmers, organic farmers. They've been using the same seeds for thousands of years. Monsanto shows up with their little GMO cotton seeds. They say, hey, this seed, this GMO seed will grow faster, you get more profits, you can make more money from it. So just take it off our hands and we'll buy your old seeds and we'll do a little switcheroo. So everyone said, okay. But the way they did it is they showed up with a van, pops out a TV, shows a commercial depicting an Indian god holding a bag of Monsanto seeds. That's how devious their marketing practice is. That's almost as bad as what I just posted in my stories yesterday about these little crackers marketed to kids that have maybe 7 different GMOs in it, completely poison, heavy metals, all this toxic stuff that little kids are going to be eating, unfortunately. So this stuff happens in India. And then in the following year, they got half as much yield. Their soils are destroyed from the pesticides they sprayed. Because you got to understand, soil has delicate, bacteria and fungi balance in the soil. When you spray a whole bunch of toxic chemicals on it, it kills all that stuff and you get less nutrients. So even if they did get a higher yield, they wouldn't get a higher nutrient yield. You get a higher nutrient yield from healthy soils, which you don't get from spraying pesticides. So when I was in British Columbia, in Kelowna, I went to a farmer's market. Farmers, okay, organic farmers, they're woke. They know what's going on. So I started talking to the guy. I said, hey, how is it, started asking him some questions. Turns out in BC, British Columbia, the government will pay you to get a farm going if you're going to spray pesticides on it. They give no grants and no loans, way harder for organic farmers. They're not incentivizing organic food. And to put that point further, mainstream media just posted a couple hit pieces on a bunch of different, what seem to be different news sources, but are completely conglomerated, owned by the same corporations. And it said, organic food can kill you. Here's how. And it starts talking about how the bacteria, by the way, your body should have more bacteria cells than human cells. Your body's meant to be trillions of bacteria is what makes up your immune system. This stuff, things getting censored nowadays, especially because of what's going on. You know what I'm talking about. So they tell this guy, hey, no, sorry, we can't give you any money to grow an organic farm. And you actually have to pay a whole bunch more to be certified organic. That's why organic food costs more. They got to pay to be certified. You got to support a local farmer. And by the way, when you are supporting an organic farmer, when you go and pay for organic food, you are funding the resistance. You are funding organic food is the enemy of the system. I'm not talking about, various people in government. I'm talking about the system which seeks to control all the global food supply under the term Codex Alimentarius, which is part of Agenda 21. They want to make sure that no one's eating any food that's not sprayed with a whole bunch of chemicals, which they regulate. And they're going to hit, this is part of the conditioning, these hit pieces that say organic food's dangerous, organic food's harmful. That's because they want to start conditioning people to go, organic food, that thing that we wouldn't exist without, it's bad. Let's go to the Monsanto GMO angle and have some of that. This is the crazy thing, that all their foods, you know that patents, okay, for something to be patented, it legally cannot be something natural. Natural things cannot be patented. What these companies do is they take a seed, they change one gene in it, and then they insert a gene of a pesticide, okay, or a herbicide, like glyphosate, and then they call the whole plant and every seed from it their own. But they didn't invent that. They just modified it with a little bit of a toxic chemical. So my point is that in India, after 1 year, and everyone's getting decreased yields, less profits, farms are destroyed, over 400,000 Indian farmers committed suicide in 1 year. And when they all turned around to go get their ancient heirloom organic seeds back from maybe their neighbor, because everyone had seeds back then, seeds weren't far away, anyone could get them. It turns out every farmer had been offered the same deal. Every single farmer had given up their heirloom organic seeds, so it was impossible for them to go back to organic. And do you know how hard it is to go from pesticide GMO to organic food? You got to revitalize that soil. That could take 10 years. It could take 5 years, 10 years. So this is all part of Agenda 21 to take over the food supply. And I believe that this video, man, people should know this. I wish that my uncles, my cousins, my brothers, some of my brothers are woke to it. But my point is that people need to know. I'm looking at a guy right now walking in a park, and I hope he knows that when you go to support an organic farmer, you're funding the resistance, man, because they don't want you eating organic food. They already passed a bill in California. You know what they passed a bill for? Growing your food in your yard could spread disease, so it's banned. No, you can't grow food in your yard. You got to go Monsanto HQ, pick up some of their seeds, you can grow that. Folks, this is a corporate takeover of the world food supply. 80% of the commercial seeds on Earth are owned by 3 agrochemical companies which specialized in the design and manufacture of the deadliest chemical weapons in human history.